Good morning, students. So today I am going to explain about the determination of hardness of water by complexometric method. So in this one, the main aim of this experiment is to determine the total hardness of the test sample of water using EDTA. So what do you mean by hardness? What is the purpose of doing this one? We know that generally the water is an essential component as it is important for all us for surviving. So you have to determine the total hardness present in a given water sample. So this hardness of water is mainly due to the presence of dissolved salts of calcium and magnesium. So the amount of this calcium magnesium ions that are present in the water can be determined by using the complexity agent known as EDTA. So EDTA is nothing but ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Okay, so in this one, so this involves three steps. First one is the preparation of standard hard water. The next one is determination of hardness of water. So in this one, and also you can determine the hardness of water of our kit sample also. So the first one is you are going to prepare, you are going to take the standard hard water. So this hard water is prepared by taking 1 gram of dry calcium carbonate in a known volume of dilute HCl. So this upon evaporation, some part of this gets dissolved and we cool it and we are going to dilute with the water so that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO2. So in this one, simple procedure is you are going to take EDTA, that is nothing but ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid is a complexity agent. So first one, we are going to take an ml of standard hot water to which we are adding 5 ml of buffer. So in this one, we are adding the buffer solution that is nothing but ammonium chloride plus ammonium hydroxide so that the pH is maintained 10. So to that, we are adding 2 or 3 drops of iriochrome indicator. So and when we are adding this indicator, it changes to violet color. And when we are tightening against the EDTA that is present in the burette, it changes to blue color. So in this one, for our simplicity, we are writing the indicator in the form of H2X. So this exists in the form of HX2 in the blue color, and if the pH is greater than 10, it indicates in the form of X3 minus, that is orange color. So in this one, why we have to add buffer means we have two questions. What happens if the pH is greater than 10? Suppose if you are adding the buffer solution, if the pH is 10, first it changes to violet color, and when we are tightening against the EDTA, it changes to the blue color. Suppose if the pH is greater than 10, instead of getting the blue color, we get orange color, where we cannot differentiate between the violet as well as the orange color. Suppose if the pH is less than 10, so when we are adding the standard hot water, 5 ml buffer and 2 or 3 drops of indicator, this is going to form a metal EDTA complex. So if the pH is less than 10, the metal EDTA complex will decompose before it gives rise to the end point. So that's why in order to see that the metal EDTA complex is stable, so we have to maintain the pH is equal to 10. So for the sake of simplicity, we write the indicator in the form of H2X is equal to Hx minus to X minus 2. So the hardness causing water ions, that is nothing but containing calcium ions, when we are adding a little amount of indicator. So this changes into CH minus, that is nothing but wine red color with the dissociation of H plus N. Similarly, if the water is containing magnesium ions, so this upon Hx minus to gives rise to wine red plus H plus minus. So in this one, we are going to take the EDTA, that is nothing but the complexity agent in the burette. So the EDTA is represented in the form of H2Y minus. So when we are adding EDTA from the burette to the water sample containing calcium ions, so it dissociates into CaY minus plus 2H plus minus. So this particular one means when we are adding the indicator, it changes to wine red color, and when we tighten against the EDTA that is present from the burette, so it dissociates into CaY minus 2, where the indicator exists in the form of blue color, means it again changes into blue color. This one is the colorless and this one is the blue color with the dissociation of H plus. Only the thing is, the indicator is represented as H2Y minus 2, that is nothing but ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, and whereas the indicator is exists in the form. So the only thing is, whenever the pH is greater than 10, we are getting orange color. So So where we cannot differentiate between the wine red as well as the orange. And if the pH is less than 10, the metal ion indicator that form the complex will decompose before it reaches to the end point. So like that, first thing is you are going to take the first step as standard hot water, and we have added 5 ml of buffer indicator where it changes to wine red color, and when we type it again the EDTA it changes to blue color. So like that, if you are doing for the standard hot water, we take the reading as V1. Similarly we do for the hot water. Only thing is, instead of taking the standard hot water, here we take the 10 ml of hot water, and the procedure is same. So you are going to prepare out 10 ml of hot water, 5 ml of buffer, followed by the addition of this one, adjusted to pH is equal to 10 by the addition of ammonium hydroxide and ammonium chloride, and a pinch of Iridium black indicator where it changes to violet color, and when we type it again the EDTA it changes to blue color. So the procedure is common for all. Only the thing is the change in the readings will be in the form of V1 and V2. So in the calculation part, so first step we have prepared the standardization of, in the first step preparation of standard hot water. We have prepared the standard hot water such that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO. So in the next one we have done the standardization. What do you mean by standardization? By taking the known solution we are going to find out the concentration of unknown one. So in this one standardization, first we are taking 10 ml of standard hot water, to that we are adding 5 ml of buffer, followed by the addition of pinch of Iridium black indicator where it changes to violet color, and when we type it again the EDTA changes to the blue color. So assuming that if you are taking 10 ml of standard hot water, it consumes V1 ml of EDTA. Suppose if you calculate for 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of SH2. Simply we write like this: 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of SH2. We know that 1 ml of SH2 is equal to 1 mg of CaCO3. So simply we replace 10 by V1 ml of SH2 is equal to 10 by V1 mg of CaCO3. Similarly, we do for the hot water. Suppose if we take the 10 ml of hot water, and when we type it again the EDTA, this is nothing but V2 ml of EDTA. So all this we are going to calculate for 1 liter. So 1000 ml of hot water is equal to 1000 by 10, because we are taking only 10 ml. So 1000 by 10 is nothing but 100 V2 ml of EDTA. So this 100 V2, but we know that 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 10 by V1 mg of CaCO3. So when we substitute that 100 into V2 value into 10 by V1 value, that gives the mg of CaCO3. That is nothing but mg of CaCO3 or ppm, parts per million. The hardness of water is always expressed in terms of mg of CaCO3 or ppm. So now we are going to demonstrate. Okay, now we are going to do the experimental part. So most of you already done the lab, so you know what is meant by conical flask. This is the conical flask, this is the pipette, this is the burette, and this is the burette stand clamp, and this one we are going to use the EDTA. This is the standard hot water, this is Iridium black indicator, this is the buffer solution, and this is the measuring jar, and this is the test tube stand, and you can use test tube also. So before that one, first you have to take the burette, fill the EDTA solution. So you have to fill the solution up to the mark. The total volume of the solution is about 50 ml, and you have to set the burette to 0 reading. You have to set to 0. Okay. Then keep the burette on the stand. Then you take the 10 ml of pipette using the clean conical flask. First you have to pipette out 10 ml of calcium carbonate. This is the standard hot water. So this 10 ml of standard hot water. So after that, last you have to just do this one, keep aside. Then you have to add 5 ml of buffer. Either you can use the measuring jar or you can take the test tube up to the mark. So for sake of you, so always cover the buffer solution with the lid. Then you add 2 or 3 drops of indicator. So this is the wine red color. Now titrate. So always handle your conical flask towards right side and left on the burette. Now you keep on adding one drop. So you have to titrate uniformly. So always you have to see only the change in the color, but not on the burette. Okay. So when you keep on add. So this is the blue color you are going to get, from wine red to blue color. So after that, just you take out the burette. See this. So the initial value you are starting is about 0 and the value got around as 10 point. Now the difference in this value is 10 point. Now as the burette is about 50 ml, so we can take, when we are doing for the next iteration, we can take the 10 point as the initial value and we can titrate. So suppose assuming that we got around some 20.3. So now the difference in the value is about 10.1. So as we have to take the two quantum readings, we have to go for the third iteration. As we take the initial value as 20.3 and the next value you may get around 30.49. So the difference in this one is about 10.1. You are going to do the titration that until you get the two readings same. So this is the quantum reading. Now we are going to do hot water. Now you are going to prepare out 10 ml of hot water. Before that one, again you fill the burette up to 0 level, because we don't know where the value get. Just you have to make up to this 0 level. So you have to set to 0. Now you are going to prepare out 10 ml of hot water. Keep aside. Next followed by additional buffer. Two drops of indicator. Now we titrate against the EDC. So the initial value is 0. Now the change in the color to wine red to blue. This is the end point you are going to get. Now you got the value around. So now the initial value is 0 to, assuming that we got some 22.9. As we know that its total volume is 50. Now you can take the initial value also as. So when we get a two readings same, then we do the calculation. Standard hot water, it is about 10.1. and for V2 the value is 22.9. This is for standard hard water and this is for hard water. The standard hard water V1 you got as some 10.2, and for the hot water we got V2 is equal to 22.9. So first only we assume that preparation of standard hot water we have prepared the standard hot water that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO2. We have prepared the standard hot water such that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO2. Next one is standardization of PDTA. So what is that in this one? So in this one we have taken 10 ml of standard hot water and it is being titled against V1 ml of PDTA. So 10 ml of standard hot water consume V1 ml of PDTA. So 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of standard hot water. So for the sake of simplicity, just for understanding, we write as 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of SHW. But in the first itself, we assume that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO2. So for this one, 10 mg of CaCO2. So what is the value of first one? 10 by V1 means 10 by 10.2 mg of CaCO2. 10 by 10.2. Sir, value 10 by 10.2.
Point 98.
0.98 mg of CaCO2. Similarly, if you do for the hot water, so 10 ml of hot water is equal to V2 ml of PDTA. So we have to calculate for 1 liter. So 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. So 1000 ml of hot water is equal to 1000. But we are taking only 10, so 1000 by 10 V2 ml of PDTA. So 1000 by 10 is nothing but 100 V2 and this ml of PDTA. 1000 V2 by 10 is nothing but 100 V2 ml of PDTA. So but we know that 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 100 V2 into 10 by V1 mg of CaCO2. So when we substitute the value of V2, 100 into 22.9 into 10 by 10.2 mg of CaCO2.
2244.
2244. So the amount of hardness present is mg of CaCO3 or PTM. Means the result here means in the first one the V1 is equal to 10.2 and second one we got about 22.9. So when we are substituting this one, 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO3. So in the standards we are taking 10 ml of standard hot water and we are taking V1 ml of PDTA. So 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of SHW. So for our easiest way we write like this: 1 ml of PDTA is equal to 10 by V1 ml of SHW. But we are assume that 1 ml of standard hot water is equal to 1 mg of CaCO3. Simply we replace the 10 by V1 mg of CaCO3. So the value of V1 is about 10.2. So when we substitute this one, the value is 0.98 mg of CaCO3. So when we are taking the hot water and when we calculate the PDTA, so 10 ml of 1000 by 10 is nothing but 100 into ml of EDTA. But we know that 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 10 by given mg of CaCO3. So 100 into 22.9 into 10 by 10 point is equal to 2244 mg of CaCO3. So the result we have write as the hardness of the water is calculated as 2244 mg of CaCO3 or ppm. ppm is nothing but parts per million. So always we are going to express the hardness of water in terms of mg of CaCO3 or ppm. So the hardness of the water sample is calculated as 2244 mg of CaCO3 or ppm.